Hello once again. Welcome back to Mount Tabor Grand Lodge AF and AM YouTube channel. As stated in the previous video, we're covering 9 Stoic principles of elevation. Doing it in 3 parts. This is part 2. And these are designed to help us navigate through life's trials and tribulations so that we don't get bogged down with the distractions, delays, and deceptions that both the devil, the world, and people throw at us. It is important that we start off with the key question. What current principles do you follow that help you through life and work? We should, in fact, act on principles, not moods. In this part 2, we're going to look at how the ancient philosophers of Stoicism can help us smash our creative blocks and cause us to do our best work. And by observing these individuals who lead lives of creativity and so forth, we can identify the expertise, the grit, the understanding, and passion that they have in their life, and then we can emulate that, imitate that, and input that in our lives so that we do prosper also. Again, what we want to look at is not the external, but the internal, the spirit, the inner system of an individual that is doing good works. So these philosophies, of course, would teach us how to live well and become better human beings. And again, how to overcome life's trials and tribulations. The 2 main focuses of Stoic philosophy are: how do we lead a fulfilling life, happy life, and how can we become better human beings? And the goal of Stoicism is to attain inner peace that helps us to overcome adversity, practice self-control, be conscious of our impulses, and realizing what our nature is all about and the short time that we are allotted on earth to get done what we're supposed to get done. So it is important that we, when we run into obstacles and so forth, that we face them head on and don't run from them. It is vital that we can take those obstacles and turn them into fuel and energy to help us overcome and get done what we need to do. The 2 renowned leaders of Stoicism we're going to talk about today are going to be Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius. Well, there's 3. Seneca. We probably will only talk about 2 or 3 today, but those are the ones we're going to touch bases on. Again, if you embrace this and exercise it regularly, these Stoic tenets will champion your creativity, facilitate your workflow, and improve your overall state of mind and life. So let's get into it. This is part 2. Principle number 4. Read purposefully and apply your knowledge. Here's what Epictetus in The Art of Living has to say. Don't just say you have read books. Show that through them you have learned to think better, to be more discriminating and a reflective person. Books are the training weights of the mind. They are very helpful, but it would be a bad mistake to suppose that one has made progress simply by having internalized their contents. So, to me, that's telling us that reading books on marketing or on business or creativity will supply endless dots that have the potential for connection to develop a more in-depth awareness. But what will ultimately make you more effective at your craft is applying the information you get. So reading prepares your mind, even helps you avoid foolish mistakes. But at the end of it all, there must be a result the result of some action. A failure, maybe a success, or a lesson. There has to be an end game. The purpose of education is not to simply internalize knowledge, but ultimately to spark action and facilitate wiser decisions. So reading self-help books will, in that moment, make you feel inspired for a change. But are you following the principles when you have a troll or a rude customer or an angry stranger in your face? Education can be acquired through various other means. Facebook is an option in that you keep up with what people are doing. I recommend YouTube though, because there you are not just a spectator, but can learn lessons through watching or listening on the go. I believe YouTube is a learning tool. Facebook is an information tool. But never shun reading. About 30 minutes a day can produce wonders in your life. Proverbs 18:15 says, "An intelligent heart acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge." So basically, if the ear seeks it, the heart gets it and keeps it and is enriched by it. So we must get knowledge not only in our hearts, in our heads, but in our hearts. 2 Timothy 3:16 and 17 says, "All scripture is breathed out of God and profitable for teaching, for reproof, for correction, and for training in righteousness, that the man of God may be competent, equipped for every good work." So whatever duty we have to do, whatever service is required of us, we may find enough of the scriptures. We can find scriptures on everything and anything to help us finish the task at hand and to help motivate us to get that thing done. Principle number 5, challenge yourself to be brutally honest. Here's what Seneca had to say in Letters of a Stoic. "A consciousness of wrongdoing is the first step to salvation." This remark of Epicurus is to me a very good one. For a person who is not aware that he is doing anything wrong has no desire to be put right. You have to catch yourself doing it before you can reform. Some people boast about their failings. Can you imagine someone who counts his faults as merits ever in giving thought to their cure? So, to the best of your ability, demonstrate your own guilt. Conduct inquiries of your own into all the evidence against yourself. Play the first part of prosecutor, then of judge, and finally of pleader in mitigation. Be harsh with yourself at all times. Action, truth are essential, and the first person we're supposed to hold accountable for actions and truth is ourselves. It's hard to change habits if you aren't aware as to why you didn't do something right in the first place. Why didn't you do your work today? Did you choose to watch Netflix or troll through Facebook instead? It's important to be mindful of the urges that obstruct us from showing up, engaging, committing, and being present. Why exactly am I feeling this way? Get to the bottom of that. Investigate, dissect, and when you feel resistance, use that as a clue, as a cue to go forward. The challenge, of course, is training yourself to think that way. So this isn't about talent or some unconscious reflex. This is about practice of self-awareness to think about your thinking, in how you think, feel, and behave. All of those are muscles, and we have to train those. The more you use it, the stronger you become. In 1 Timothy 4:16, it says, keep a close watch on yourself and on the teaching. Persist in this, for by so doing, you will save both yourself and your hearer. As Christians, as men and head of households, as Masons, the best way for us to grow in knowledge and in faith is to put the brethren in remembrance while we teach them. See, because as we teach others, we teach ourselves. But we cannot teach them what we are not doing. Principle number 6. Reflect on what you spend the time, the most time on. Marcus Aurelius, in his book of meditation, says a key point to bear in mind: the value of attentiveness varies in proportion to its object. You're better off not giving the small things more time than they deserve. That troll on your Twitter feed, it's probably best not to respond. You don't need to tell them where the unfollow button is located. I'm positive they already know. That email, I don't know if it's fun connecting, but can it wait? Even when the cell phone rings, do you have to jump on it immediately? In my own observations, people who do excellent work, who master their craft, do so because of their ability to prioritize. They honor every hour of the day. If we put cameras behind our heroes, how would our work ethic compare? Our focus, our determination to get things done. If monitored, you would be shocked at how much time people spend spectating on Instagram and Facebook and watching other people live their lives and eat boats of fish and red beans and rice. Although these little breaks throughout our day are okay, we must be mindful of how we interact with our distractions, or are they addictions? A lot of spectating and flickering of our finger on that Gorilla Glass is time that could be better spent creating stuff that people need, want, and it can make us prosperous. Ephesians 5:15 says, look carefully then at how you walk, not as unwise but as wise, making the best use of time, because the days are evil. So we must look at how we spend our time. We must look at ourselves and not others. And we must keep in check our own behavior and our conduct. Be circumspect in our walk, because it needs to reveal the effect of true wisdom. Proverbs 10:4 says, a slack hand causes poverty, but the hand of the diligent make rich. So those who never set their hand vigorously to their work or stick to it after they begin, those who deal with a deceitful hand, those who think to enrich themselves by fraud and by trickery, in the end impoverish themselves. They not only bring the curse of God upon them, okay, but they actually forfeit their reputation with men. Think on these 3 principles. Thank you for watching this video. Continue to watch for the 3rd part, which will be the final 3 principles. Like us on Facebook, like us on Instagram and YouTube. More importantly, subscribe, and even more importantly than that, tell a friend about our